Ryan Coogler's Sinners intertwines the lore of music and vampires to create a dramatic horror movie that became an instant darling among film critics. Loosely drawn from the story of blues icon Robert Johnson who, legend has it, sold his soul to the devil at a crossroads in exchange for musical talent, Sinners tells the story of a young guitarist who runs afoul of bloodthirsty monsters while pursuing his musical dreams. Naturally, the vampires in Sinners are musicians too, and have a mystical yet deadly look unique to Coogler's film. Although Sinners is largely about the aforementioned blues musician Sammy, played by Miles Cottone, the film's biggest star is Michael B. Jordan, who plays twins called Smoke and Stack. Screen Rant Sinners review called the movie one of his best performances to date, but it took a village to seamlessly integrate Jordan's work into the film. Two of the special effects wizards responsible for that achievement are visual effects supervisor Michael Ralla and VFX producer James Alexander. Screen Rant spoke with Michael Ralla and James Alexander about their collaboration with Ryan Coogler and their work on Sinners. The pair discussed implementing unique pieces of technology to get pristine captures of Michael B. Jordan and make his twin characters, Smoke and Stack, appear totally real. They also shared insights about the creation of the film's stunning multi-era music scene and the making of the vampires. Sinners' VFX team had to please worldwide audiences. And Michael B. Jordan. Michael Ralla details the biggest challenges they faced from the start. VFX supervisor Michael Ralla first met Ryan Coogler and his cinematographer Autumn Gerald Arkapour when he worked on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever as the second unit VFX supervisor. That's how I met Autumn and learned about the intricacy of her style and her lenses, which can be quite challenging for the FX to figure out. But, once you understand them, they actually help our work. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was a massive, effects-driven film, but Sinners presented its own challenges, beginning with the fact that we were shooting not just 65mm celluloid film, but IMAX 15 perf, which is a frame that's significantly larger than your standard 35mm celluloid film. This meant bigger frames and less room to hide, especially because Ryan made it very clear that they were going to project this on the largest screens not only in the nation, but worldwide. Sinners is not a movie about bombastic effects, but it does survive on the strength of them, especially considering Michael B. Jordan acts alongside himself as twin characters Smoke and Stack for the vast majority of the film. No pressure, thought Ralla. We heard that there was going to be a lot of twinning and not just of somebody, but actually Michael B. Jordan, who happens to be a very close friend of Ryan's, and a superstar actor that the whole world is very familiar with. Faced with the question of, how do we do this, Ralla and company explored their options. We looked at everything that was out there, went to a bunch of different companies in LA, and had them do demos for us. It was really interesting because everyone was like, well, let's do a face swap. I've seen it on TikTok and Instagram, that's easy. The VFX team would go on to utilize a number of approaches to achieve a twinning effect. One of the most simple approaches is a split screen, Ralla said, referencing a technique where an actor can perform both parts, one after the other, in front of a stationary camera, for those takes to then be joined, the left side of the screen showing one take, while the right shows the next, etc. This technique is a very safe way of twinning, at least, as long as the two characters don't have to physically interact. But that's not Sinners. I heard vampires, I heard twins, and I was like, oh, they're going to end up fighting each other, Ralla said. You can't do split screens in a fight scene where you have all this intricate interaction between the two, he continued, so it was clear that, in some form, we're going to use a body double. Finding a good body double for Michael actually wasn't all that easy, and once you look at the body double, you understand how much work Michael actually put into developing the two characters, Smoke and Stack, and, when it came to the VFX, Jordan had notes, what we thought to do was a really good face replacement, Ralla shared, but we had to do a full head replacement, because Michael is friends with Ryan, and he would see the film all along the process. Michael would see our work in progress, and he was like, that's not my ears. That's not my hairline. Sinners' unique halo rig explained. The technology was developed for on-the-go data capture. Screen Rant Sandbox, 2025-04-29T2227002.173. So Michael Ralla, James Alexander, and the rest of the VFX team had to discover how to do an entire head replacement for Michael B. Jordan's characters. Fortunately enough, Ralla said, I have this reputation of collecting lots and lots of data. At some point, we were like, let's develop a rig that captures a full head performance, in 360 degrees, all around. This became the Halo 12 cameras attached to a lightweight, circular carbon fiber ring on a shoulder-worn harness that Jordan would throw on immediately after finishing a take. Momentum is very important for Ryan, Ralla shared, because he's got a sports background. To grab Michael and then send him into a trailer to do this whole thing again in a completely different setting, that was never going to be an option. We knew it had to happen on location, in the moment, and that's what we built this Halo rig for. What the Halo captured would then be sent to Australian VFX shop Rising Sun Pictures, who basically recreated his performance from that capture to put on the body double's head. The key thing above all, according to Ralla, was that Jordan's actual performance not be changed. It's not the body double driving Michael's face. This is Michael. James Alexander weighed in, saying, "We wanted to film Michael and have him for real as often as possible. The Halo rig allows us to have the lighting reference per scene and deploy it very quickly, to preserve Michael B. Jordan's performance. It always had to be Michael's acting on any digital face replacement that we did. There are a lot of tools out there that allow you to put your hero actor's face on someone and be driven by the double's performance, or the stunt performer's performance, but we knew that wasn't going to work in this case." Alexander continued, "The whole story plays out over 24 hours. So, it's often the case that we're rushing to make sure the lighting conditions are consistent from one setup to the next. So, when we had a twinning shot for which we needed the Halo rig, it could be that Ryan calls cut, and while everything else is rushing to set up for the next pass, we're doing the Halo pass while the whole production is shifting around us.